sometimes we take 10 steps forward, and then because we take 2 steps back, we start to over-focus on the 2 steps back to the point that we don't realize that we are still 8 steps forward. When is it going to be the time to appreciate how far you've come? When is it going to be the time to appreciate everything that you've done to lead you to this point? How much work do you have to put in to finally be grateful for who you are and what you have become? These are questions that a lot of us cannot answer for ourselves because we're working so hard to get to the next step. There's always something wrong with us. We spend a lot of time doubting ourselves and just being negative with who we are for no reason. I feel like we're worse on ourselves than we are with other people. And that's just weird, right? Hi, this is Prince Kerr. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, subscribe on your way in. I'm looking forward to a brand new, revitalized journey with you. I don't know if I'm back yet. I still don't know if I'm back yet. Trying this new style of video. So it's going to be like a mix of talking videos where you're just going to hear my voice as well as a mix of seeing me a little bit. So welcome to the channel. If you haven't already subscribed and you enjoy videos about being true to you and just finding yourself, this is the place for you. Make yourself at home. We have an entire community of people that are working on themselves just to make a better tomorrow for the world, because we all know how strange everything is becoming, especially in this day and age. Like, comment, subscribe. Back to the video. With every opportunity that happens, with every conversation and individual that we meet, there's something that we did wrong, something that we could have done better, and we're never fully appreciative with anything. It's funny because there's a quote that says, if you always think that your happiness is somewhere else, it'll never be where you are. This could also be the appreciation that you have for yourself. If it's always when you're going to be a better person, always when you're going to be a little bit more successful, always when you're going to be a little bit closer to your goal, then you're going to appreciate yourself. You start to realize that that time is never coming, because that time can never come. You could imagine this like a hamster in a hamster wheel, chasing a treat that is ahead of him, running as fast as the hamster can, like the wheel is spinning. He's putting in the work all right. He's running as fast as he can. He wants to get that treat, but he never realizes that the treat is not even attainable. It's always ahead of him. No matter how hard he runs on this treadmill, it will never take him to the place that he needs to go. You need to put in that same effort in a different way. This is how our happiness is divided or separated from our reality. This is how the appreciation for ourselves is separated from our reality. Consider that if you're always thinking about the future, you're always working on what is to come, you're always thinking about the next step, you're never really going to get to the next step, because there is never another time than right now. Think about it. Next Tuesday, when you get to next Tuesday, when will it be? It will be right now. At every point in your life, you're always in the right now. But if you're putting in your mentality that you have to achieve something in some future time, that future is never accepted as the right now by your mind. Your mind is always holding back, waiting for that perfect time. But that perfect time cannot come because you're not allowing it to come. You're not realizing that that time is always right now. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that the more that you discover is the more that you will have to discover. The more you know is the more you find out that you don't know. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves that we're working as hard as we can. We're doing as much as we can with as much as we have. It's not easy. Everything worth having is going to take time to get. Remember that. Life is just one moment, and you can choose to appreciate this moment, or you can choose to lie in hopes of another moment to come, or lie in despair for a moment that has already passed. But the only way that you will actually reach that level of appreciation, that level of fulfillment, is when you recognize that your time is always right now. Today is the day to feel better about yourself. Today is the day to appreciate yourself. Today, right now, is the time to recognize your skills. It's not going to take one more goal to be achieved for you to appreciate yourself. It doesn't take one more day so that you're closer to your destination, it's right now. Think about how your mind works. Every time you get to a destination, there's more that's created. You could think about this like in a video game. I don't know if any of you have ever played GTA. The more you get into new worlds or new spaces, is the more new spaces is unlocked. The more you have access to the map, the more you travel through the map. Think about it in a simpler way for people that probably haven't played GTA. So let's say you're in the dark and you're walking in the dark with a lamp. At first, you're in the dark, you turn on the lamp, you only know what's around you, right? But now the more you walk around, you start to realize, wow, this is a room. Okay, this is where the door is. This is where the cupboard is. This is where the counter is. And then after a little bit of searching, you realize you understand the location. So the more you go is the more that's created. The more you advance is the more you see different, the more you see new, the more your ideas expand, the more you understand a larger portion of what is going on. But because your mind works like this, it is important to realize that it never stops. Your mind is always working, always creating. Your mind is always putting things ahead of you. Your mind is always creating the world for you to walk in. And because your mind is always working, it never stops to recognize what has already been done because it's too busy creating what's ahead of you. It's your job to take a moment and assess how much land you've covered. It's your job to take a moment and appreciate how far you have come, the battles that you've been through, because your mind is just creating in preparation for the next one. But that doesn't mean that your body and your soul doesn't need time to rest, time to respect itself, that it doesn't need time to appreciate how far it's come. It is important to recognize that your mind, your body, and your soul work together in tandem to be the person that you are. These three entities come together to make one whole. So if there's one that's not doing well, it affects the whole. So although your mind is doing what your mind does, it's creating, it's being the tool that it needs to be to keep you wary and safe in this world. That doesn't mean that your body doesn't need to be taken care of. That doesn't mean that your spirit doesn't need to be taken care of. That doesn't mean that you don't need to be reminded that you are who you are. You've been through what you've been through. And in order to keep going, even if you see the path and you're like, I could accomplish this, and you may very well be able to, but because you don't appreciate yourself, because you don't take care of your body and your spirit, because you don't remind yourself and respect that you've come this far on this journey, it's that much harder to accomplish the next task on the way. And then we wonder why we're stressed, then we wonder why we're worried, and then we wonder why we're in so much pain. We're creating this pain for ourselves because we're not appreciating ourselves. Think of yourself like if you were your own friend. Let's say you had a friend that always did things for you over and over and over again. Whenever you needed that friend was there. Every time you forgot something, boom, that friend was there to have your back. Every time you did something wrong, boom, your friend figured it out for you and you're still rolling. Every time you needed some type of assistance in your life, your friend was always there, supported you, and made sure that you walked high and mighty on this journey of life. Now, imagine this keeps going on and you never show appreciation to that friend. You go as far as to neglect that friend because now you expect for all those good things to be continuously done. You expect all those favors on a continuous and consistent basis and never showed any type form of appreciation. What do you think that friend is eventually going to feel like? A friend is going to probably feel like, well, I don't want to do this anymore. This person doesn't even see me for me. I'm not doing it. Your friend might even stop being your friend. And then because you expect your friend to do all the things that your friend has always been doing, now you don't know how to go at life. The problems that you thought were just so simple that you could just accomplish, your friend is not there with you, so you can't really do it in the same way. You almost have to relearn everything. You have to recoup and re-understand everything that is about your life. Now think of that friend as your body, as your person. Your person has come very far. Your person has kept you alive. Your person has kept you healthy, has kept you strong, has been through so much. The heartbreak, the struggle, the successes, the losses, the friendships, the betrayals. Your person has been through all of this for years. You're gonna tell me that you can't give a little bit of appreciation? You're gonna tell me that a little thank you, that a little rest, that a little respect is too much to ask for? Why is that something that is so obvious when it is for a friend? When I just said the example earlier, you're probably thinking, that's not me. I would appreciate if someone is doing something for me on a consistent basis. Yeah, it's easy to think that for a friend. But what about for yourself? How many days have you given to yourself to really just relax? How many days have you given yourself to just hug yourself and tell yourself thank you? How many days, how many weeks out of all the years that you've been alive have you given yourself to just be? To just be appreciative of your two arms, your legs, your body, your head, just working properly, not giving out on you when it was crunch time. Why is it so easy to say that you would do that for a friend, but it's so hard for us to do that for ourselves? Why do we feel weaker? Why do we feel like we've lost when we take a break? Why is it when it's time to consider our own mental health, our own well-being, we're quicker to compare ourselves to somebody else? Well, that person is still working. That means I have to still work. Why are we so scornful, so cheap with ourselves? Really appreciate and understand the quote from the beginning. Sometimes we take 10 steps forward, and then because we take 2 steps back, we start to over-focus on the 2 steps back to the point that we don't realize that we're still 8 steps forward. Sometimes you need to take 2 steps back. You ever been driving so fast or riding your bicycle really fast and you saw something that interests you, but you didn't really understand what it is that you saw. So you had to reverse and double back and make sure that you seen what you saw. Oh, what a beautiful giraffe. I didn't realize what type of animal it was. I knew it was an animal, but I didn't know it was a giraffe. Wow, it's beautiful. I appreciate this. And then you continue going. You saw the animal before, yes, but now that you got to step back and understand what was going on in your environment and appreciate what was going on in your environment, you can go forward comfortably. Why is that so hard to do? Why is it that so much positive can be going on around us? We have a great track record, if you want to call it that. Yet, when we need a break, when we need to relax, or when we need to take a step back to understand what we are going through or to appreciate how far we've come, we start to focus on the progress that's not happening. Listen, I am definitely guilty of this. I'm 100% guilty of this. I would overwork myself, overthink things. I would just do the most. And that's one of the reasons I've been away from YouTube for so long. It's because I felt I needed some time to really recollect and figure out what exactly I was doing. Where exactly did I want to go with this channel? Sometimes we're working so hard in a direction that we don't realize that the quality of our work is diminishing. The quality of our thoughts is diminishing. And why? Because we're becoming tired. We're working hard. We think we're working hard, but we're just becoming tired and tired and tired. It's so important to take a break. It's so important to relax, recalibrate, reset so that you can do as good as you can do and prove to yourself that you can accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. Back to the video. We start to focus on the movement that's not happening. Sometimes we take 10 steps forward, 10, and then because we take 2 steps back, we start to over-focus on the 2 steps back to the point that we don't realize that we are still 8 steps forward. 8 steps forward. That's 8 steps from the 0 that you had originally. That's 7 steps ahead of the first step that you took. You know how hard it was to take the first step? Some of us have had goals that we've been thinking about for the longest time. Things that we want to accomplish that we've been thinking about, writing down in our journal, telling to other people the things that we want to do. And we didn't do it for so long. And then we finally conjured up the guts to do what we had to do perfectly, immaculately. So much so that we made it to that first step and then created a next step. So we went from 0 to 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But when we want to take 2 steps back to revisit what was done, to re-understand what was done, to see it from a different perspective, we start to feel like we failed? Does that really make sense? And that's just for most of us. But some of us, we go even farther. We take 2 steps back and we start to feel like the world is over. We start to feel like everything is lost. We start to think about all the bad times, all the negative things that we've done in this life, how we ended up in this place. Such failures. Now, although this may sound dramatic to most of you, some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Do me a favor and comment, yes, I know, if I'm talking to that some of you right now. Do me a favor and comment, yes, I know, if you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you are the person I'm talking to right now, it's time for you to realize that enough is enough. There's only so far you can go without the respect and appreciation that you show to others, but shown to you. There's only so far you can go without the respect and appreciation, because that's like fuel to your body. That's fuel to your morale. That's fuel to your spirit that lets you know that yes, I can keep on going. Because believe me, you cannot go forever. Everybody needs a break. Even the most high-powered of vehicles, if any of you have ever watched the F1 race, even the most high-powered $2 million, $5 million vehicles, they need to stop to change the wheels, to refuel, so that they can get back into the race. Why do you think it's any different for you? Rather, who made you believe that it's any different for you? Who made you believe that you had to keep on going, that you had to never sleep, that you had to only focus on your goals and disregard everything else? What made you think that? Who put that in your mind? What put that in your mind? Think about that. Life is just a moment, and in this moment, you are free. Remember that. I'll see you here next time on the Uncle Prince Show. I just want to close this video with a question. Do you remember who you are? Do you remember why you started all of this? You've been working for so long, sometimes for longer than you could even think of. Think about how much time has passed since you first had the idea that you're working on. How much time has passed since you had this passion? Maybe you thought of it when you were 14, 15, could have been 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but we're working so long at it that we don't realize how much time has passed. Take a moment and just give yourself some gratitude. Show yourself some self-compassion, because if you don't show yourself self-compassion, if you don't show yourself that you can love yourself, why should somebody else? Why should somebody else invest their time in who you are? Why should somebody else invest their love, their energy into you if you can't even invest it in yourself? So just remember that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Welcome to the Uncle Prince Show. I guess we'll see what I do with this. I don't know if it's ever going to come back. Leave a comment below and I'll see you next time. Thank you.